I had a superpower. Sometimes, I like to dream about having a superpower. If I had a superpower, I think I would want to fly. It would be amazing to fly high in the sky like a bird. I could go anywhere I wanted, and I would never have to sit in traffic again. If I had wings, I would fly over my school, my town, and even the ocean. I could visit my grandma anytime, even if she lives far away. Flying would be so much fun. I would feel the wind on my face and see the world from above. Or maybe I would like to be invisible. If I could turn invisible, I could sneak into the kitchen and take cookies without anyone knowing. I could also help people without them seeing me. If someone dropped something, I could pick it up and give it back like a secret helper. Another fun superpower would be to talk to animals. I could ask my dog why he barks so much. I could understand what birds sing about. I think animals have a lot to say, we just can't hear them. Sometimes, I wish I had the power to stop time. If I was late for school, I could freeze time and still be on time. I could take long naps, read more books, or finish my homework easily. Even though I don't have any real superpowers, I can still do amazing things. I can help people, be kind, and learn new things every day. Maybe being a good person is the best superpower of all. At the beach. Last summer, my family went to the beach. It was a hot, sunny day. We wore our swimsuits, packed towels, sunscreen, and a big beach umbrella. The drive to the beach took about an hour. When we arrived, the sand was warm under our feet. We found a nice spot and set up our umbrella and beach blanket. The sound of the waves was relaxing. Seagulls flew in the sky, and children were laughing and playing. I ran into the water with my brother. The ocean was cool and felt nice. We splashed each other and jumped over the waves. Sometimes, a big wave came, and we would fall down and laugh. After swimming, we made a big sand castle. We used a bucket and a small shovel. Our castle had 4 towers and a moat around it. We even put seashells on it to make it pretty. Later, we walked along the beach looking for more seashells. I found a pink one shaped like a heart. My mom took a picture of me holding it. When we got hungry, we ate sandwiches and drank lemonade. Then, I laid down under the umbrella and listened to the waves. The warm breeze made me feel sleepy. Before we left, we took one last swim and watched the sunset. The sky turned orange, pink, and purple. It was so beautiful. I love going to the beach. It's fun to swim, play in the sand, and spend time with my family. I hope we can go again next summer. Going to the zoo. Last weekend, my family went to the zoo. I was very excited because I love animals. We packed some snacks and water bottles and got into the car early in the morning. The weather was sunny and perfect for a zoo trip. When we arrived, I saw a big sign that said "Welcome to the City Zoo." There were many people there, families with children, school groups, and tourists. We bought our tickets and got a map of the zoo. There were so many animals to see. First, we went to the monkey area. The monkeys were swinging from ropes and playing with each other. One monkey made a funny face at me, and I laughed. Then we saw the lions. They were lying in the sun and looked very sleepy. I saw one lion yawn, it had big sharp teeth. After that, we walked to the elephant area. The elephants were very big and slow. One of them sprayed water from its trunk. That made everyone laugh. My little sister said the elephants were her favorite. We also saw giraffes, zebras, and penguins. The penguins were swimming and sliding on the rocks. They looked so cute in their black and white feathers. At lunchtime, we sat at a picnic table and ate sandwiches. We watched the ducks in a small pond while we ate. Then we visited the souvenir shop. I bought a small stuffed panda to take home. Before we left, we saw a bird show. Colorful parrots flew over our heads. It was amazing. I had a great time at the zoo. I learned a lot about animals and had fun with my family. I hope we can go again soon. My school. I go to a school that is close to my house. Every morning, I walk there with my little brother. We wear our school uniforms and carry our backpacks. Sometimes we meet our friends on the way and walk together. My school is big. It has many classrooms, a library, a computer lab, a music room, and a playground. There are many students and teachers. Everyone is friendly and helpful. My classroom is on the second floor. There are desks, chairs, a big whiteboard, and colorful posters on the walls. My teacher's name is Ms. Parker. She is kind and always helps us when we don't understand something. We study many subjects at school. My favorite subjects are English and science. I like reading stories and doing experiments. Sometimes we do group work, and sometimes we work alone. At 10 o'clock, we have a short break. We eat snacks and talk with our friends. At lunchtime, we go outside and eat our lunch in the playground. After lunch, we play games like tag, soccer, or jump rope. Our school also has fun activities. Sometimes we have art days or music shows. Last week, we had a sports day. I ran in a race and won second place. I was very happy. At the end of the day, we say goodbye to our teachers and walk home. Even though school can be hard sometimes, I like learning new things. I love my school and my friends. I think school is a great place to grow and have fun. Today, it is raining outside. The sky is full of gray clouds, and the wind is blowing strongly. I can hear the raindrops tapping on the roof and hitting the windows. It is cold, so I put on my warm sweater and made a cup of hot chocolate. Since I can't go outside, I decide to stay in and read a book. I sit near the window with my book and blanket. My cat jumps onto my lap and curls up to sleep. Everything feels calm and quiet. Sometimes, I look out the window and watch the rain. The trees are swaying in the wind. A few people are walking on the street with umbrellas. One little boy is jumping in a puddle and laughing. His boots are bright yellow. He looks very happy. Later, I help my mom bake cookies. The smell of chocolate fills the kitchen. We eat the cookies while watching a movie. The rain keeps falling outside, but I don't mind. Rainy days can be fun, too. At the grocery store. Every Saturday, my family goes to the grocery store. We make a shopping list before we leave the house. We write down all the things we need, like fruits, vegetables, milk, and bread. Sometimes, my mom lets me add something special, like cookies or juice. When we get to the store, we grab a shopping cart. The store is big, with many aisles full of food and other items. I like looking at the bright colors of the fruits and vegetables. Red apples, yellow bananas, green cucumbers, everything looks so fresh. First, we go to the fruits and vegetables section. My dad picks the ripest tomatoes and checks the bananas. Then we go to the dairy section to get milk, cheese, and yogurt. I always like going to the snack aisle. There are chips, chocolates, and lots of different candies. Sometimes, I ask nicely, and my mom lets me choose one treat. At the end of the trip, we go to the checkout counter. We put all our items on the counter, and the cashier scans them. My little brother likes to help by handing the items to the cashier. Then we pay for everything and take our bags. Sometimes, we help pack the groceries into the bags. Then we take the bags to the car and drive home. I like going to the grocery store because it's fun to help. And I learn the names of many foods. It's also a good way to spend time with my family. I wish I were. Sometimes, I like to imagine different things. I close my eyes and dream. One of my favorite games is to think, I wish I were. I wish I were a bird. If I were a bird, I could fly high in the sky. I could go anywhere I wanted over mountains, rivers, and cities. I would feel the wind in my feathers and sing songs all day. I wish I were an astronaut. If I were an astronaut, I would travel to space. I would wear a spacesuit and live in a rocket. I could float without gravity and look at Earth from above. At night, I would see stars, planets, and maybe even aliens. Sometimes, I wish I were a famous singer. I would sing on a big stage with lights and music. People would clap and cheer. I would make them happy with my songs. Other times, I wish I were a superhero. I would help people in trouble. If someone was in danger, I would fly in and save the day. I would be strong, fast, and kind. But in the end, I'm happy to be me. I may not have wings or superpowers, but I can still do great things in real life. I can be kind, helpful, and brave in my own way. Dreaming is fun, and it helps me imagine new things. Who knows? Maybe one day, I'll become something I dream about. So, what do you wish you were? My favorite subject. At school, we study many subjects. There is math, science, English, history, and art. All of them are interesting, but my favorite subject is English. I like English because I enjoy reading stories and writing my own. In English class, we read books, poems, and short stories. Sometimes, the teacher asks us to act out the story. It is fun to play different characters. I also enjoy writing. We write about our holidays, our dreams, or even make up our own stories. Last week, I wrote a story about a pirate who finds a magical island. My teacher said it was very creative. English helps me speak better and learn new words. I keep a small notebook where I write new words and their meanings. This helps me remember them. Sometimes we play word games in class. We also work in groups and talk about the stories we read. That helps me become more confident when I speak. Even at home, I like to read English books. I go to the library with my mom every weekend and borrow new books. I also watch cartoons and movies in English to improve my listening skills. One day, I want to write my own book in English. Maybe it will be a story about animals, or space, or a big adventure. I think English is not just a subject, it's a way to share ideas with the world. That's why English is my favorite subject. My favorite book. I love to read books. Books take me to different places and help me learn new things. Out of all the books I've read, my favorite book is Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. It's a story about a boy named Harry Potter. He finds out that he is a wizard and goes to a magical school called Hogwarts. There, he makes friends, learns magic, and has many exciting adventures. He also fights against a very bad wizard named Voldemort. I like this book because it is full of magic, mystery, and friendship. I enjoy reading about spells, flying broomsticks, and secret rooms in the castle. My favorite character is Hermione. She is smart, brave, and always ready to help her friends. I have read this book many times. Each time I read it, I find something new and exciting. Sometimes, I wish I could go to Hogwarts too. I would like to wear a wizard robe, carry a wand, and take classes like potions or defense against the dark arts. Reading this book also helped me improve my English. I learned many new words and how to describe people and places. Now, I write my own short stories just like the ones in the book. Books are like friends, they never leave you. Whenever I feel bored or sad, I read my favorite book again. It always makes me happy. Do you have a favorite book too? If you don't, I hope you find one soon. Books are magical. The best lesson I have learned. In life, we learn many lessons. Some are small, and some are big. But the best lesson I have learned is this. Never give up. I learned this lesson when I was in the 3rd grade. We had a big spelling competition at school. I really wanted to win, so I practiced every day. I wrote the words, said them out loud, and asked my parents to quiz me. But on the day of the competition, I got nervous. When it was my turn, I forgot the spelling of a simple word. I felt so sad and embarrassed. I thought, I worked so hard, and I still lost. That night, I told my mom I didn't want to try again. She hugged me and said, "It's okay to feel sad. But what matters is that you tried your best. Next time, you'll do even better. Just don't give up." Her words stayed in my heart. I decided to try again the next year. I practiced even more and stayed calm on the stage. Guess what? That time, I won first place. Since then, I have remembered this lesson. Even when things are hard, like learning a new subject or losing a game, I remind myself to keep going. Trying, failing, and trying again is how we grow. So, the best lesson I have learned is to never give up. Mistakes don't mean you failed. They mean you're learning. And that's how we become stronger and better. Ordering food at a restaurant. Last weekend, my family went to a restaurant for dinner. We don't eat out often, so it was a special day. The restaurant was clean and had soft music playing. A friendly waiter came to our table and gave us the menus. I looked at the menu carefully. There were so many choices: pasta, pizza, rice, soup, and burgers. I was very hungry, so I chose a big plate of spaghetti with tomato sauce. My dad ordered a chicken dish, and my mom wanted some vegetable curry. The waiter came back and asked, "Are you ready to order?" We told him what we wanted, and he wrote it all down. He also asked, "What would you like to drink?" I said, "A glass of orange juice, please." After we ordered, we waited for a few minutes. We talked and looked around the restaurant. Then the waiter brought our food. It smelled delicious. We started eating, and everyone smiled. My spaghetti was warm, tasty, and full of flavor. My mom let me taste her curry too. It was a little spicy but very good. While we were eating, the waiter checked on us and asked, "Is everything okay?" We said, "Yes, thank you." After we finished, we were full and happy. We ordered a small chocolate cake to share for dessert. It was sweet and soft, my favorite. Finally, my dad asked for the bill. The waiter brought it, and we paid. Before we left, we said, "Thank you," and the waiter smiled and said, "Have a great night." I enjoyed the food and the experience. Ordering at a restaurant is fun, and it helps me practice speaking politely. Asking for directions. One day, I visited a new city with my family. The streets were busy, and there were many people in cars. We wanted to go to the Science Museum. But we didn't know how to get there. My dad said, "Let's ask someone for directions." We saw a kind-looking man near a coffee shop. My mom smiled and said, "Excuse me, can you tell us how to get to the Science Museum?" The man was very helpful. He said, "Sure. Walk straight for 2 blocks, then turn left at the traffic light. You'll see the museum on your right, just past the park." We said, "Thank you very much." He smiled and said, "You're welcome. Have a great time." We followed the directions carefully. We walked 2 blocks, turned left, and saw the park. Right after the park, we saw the Science Museum, just like he said. The museum was big and exciting. We saw rockets, robots, and lots of fun science experiments. Later, my mom said, "It's always good to ask when you're not sure." I learned that asking for directions is simple. You just need to be polite and clear. Now, I'm not afraid to ask for help when I travel. It's a good way to learn and meet kind people. At the doctor's office. Yesterday, I didn't feel well. My head hurt, and I had a sore throat. My mom said, "Let's go to the doctor." We went to the doctor's office in the morning. There were a few people sitting in the waiting room. My mom told the nurse our names, and we sat down to wait. After a few minutes, the nurse called my name. She took my temperature and said, "It's a little high." Then she said, "Please wait here. The doctor will see you soon." The doctor came into the room and smiled. He asked, "How are you feeling today?" I said, "I have a headache and a sore throat." The doctor listened to my chest with a stethoscope. He looked at my throat and checked my ears. Then he said, "You have a small cold, but don't worry. You just need rest, warm soup, and lots of water." He gave my mom a note with the name of some medicine. She went to the pharmacy to buy it. Before we left, the doctor said, "Feel better soon." I smiled and said, "Thank you." At home, I took the medicine and slept for a while. By the next day, I felt much better. I learned that going to the doctor is nothing to be afraid of. Doctors help us get better, and they are very kind. Making a phone call. One afternoon, I needed to call my friend Anna. We planned to meet at the park after school. I picked up my phone and looked for her number. I pressed the numbers carefully and waited. After a few rings, Anna answered. "Hello," she said happily. I said, "Hi Anna. Are you ready to meet at the park?" She replied, "Yes. I will be there at 4 o'clock. We talked about what games to play and what snacks to bring. Then I said, "Okay, see you later." Anna said, "See you," and we hung up. Making a phone call is easy if you speak clearly. You should say hello first, then ask your question or say why you are calling. At the end, say goodbye politely. Sometimes, if the person does not answer, you can leave a message. You can say your name and ask them to call you back. I like making phone calls because it helps me stay in touch with my friends and family. Checking into a hotel. Last summer, my family went on a vacation to the beach. We stayed at a beautiful hotel close to the ocean. When we arrived, it was late in the afternoon. We parked the car and walked inside the hotel lobby. The lobby was big and bright. There were comfortable chairs and pretty flowers on the tables. A friendly receptionist was behind the front desk. She smiled and said, "Welcome to Sunny Beach Hotel. Do you have a reservation?" My dad said, "Yes, we have a reservation under Kumar." The receptionist typed our name into the computer. She found our booking and said, "Great. Your room is ready." She asked my dad to show his ID and a credit card for the payment. While my dad gave her the documents, I looked around the lobby. There was a large fish tank with colorful fish swimming inside. I also saw signs for the hotel's pool, gym, and restaurant. The receptionist handed my dad the room key and a hotel map. She explained, "Your room is on the third floor, number 305. To get there, take the elevator over there." She pointed to the shiny silver elevator on the side. We took the elevator up to the third floor. When we opened the door to our room, I was very happy. The room was spacious and clean. There was a big bed with soft pillows and a warm blanket. The window showed a beautiful view of the beach and the blue sea. After putting our bags down, we decided to explore the hotel. We walked to the swimming pool. Some children were playing and laughing in the water. Near the pool, there was a small cafe where people were drinking cold drinks and eating snacks. Later, we went to the hotel restaurant for dinner. The restaurant had large windows and soft music playing. I ordered spaghetti, and my parents ordered grilled fish and salad. The food was delicious, and we all enjoyed the meal. Before going to bed, we talked about our plans for the next day. We wanted to go swimming, visit the local market, and maybe take a boat trip. Checking into a hotel can be easy and fun when you are prepared. It is important to have your reservation details and ID ready. The hotel staff are friendly and want to make your stay comfortable. I had a great time and can't wait to visit again. At the gas station. Last Sunday, my family went on a road trip. Before we started driving, we stopped at a gas station. The gas station was near the highway, and it was busy with many cars. My dad got out of the car and went inside the shop. He bought some snacks and drinks for the trip. Then he talked to the gas station attendant and asked to fill the car's tank with petrol. The attendant connected the gas pump to the car's fuel tank. We waited a few minutes while the tank was filling. My little sister looked around the station and saw a small playground nearby. After the tank was full, my dad paid the attendant. We got back into the car, ready to continue our trip. At the gas station, you can also find a small shop. You can buy snacks, drinks, maps, and sometimes even car accessories. It is important to stop and check your car's fuel before a long drive. Stopping at a gas station helps you relax and get ready for the road ahead. At the coffee shop. One Saturday morning, I went to a coffee shop with my friend Sarah. The coffee shop was near the park, and it was a sunny day. When we entered, the shop was warm and smelled like fresh coffee and baked cookies. We found a small table by the window and sat down. Sarah looked at the menu and said, "There are many kinds of coffee here. Espresso, cappuccino, latte, and more. What would you like to drink?" I said, I want a hot chocolate today. Sarah ordered a cappuccino with extra foam. A friendly waiter came to our table. He asked, "Are you ready to order?" Sarah said, "Yes, we'd like one hot chocolate and one cappuccino, please." The waiter smiled and said, "Would you like anything to eat?" Sarah looked at the pastries and chose a chocolate croissant. I picked a blueberry muffin. While waiting, we talked about our plans for the weekend. The coffee shop was cozy, and soft music played in the background. After a few minutes, the waiter brought our drinks and pastries. The hot chocolate was sweet and warm. The cappuccino had a nice foam design on top. The pastries were fresh and delicious. We enjoyed our time at the coffee shop. It was a perfect place to relax and chat with friends. Renting an apartment. Last month, I needed to find a new place to live. I was moving to a different city for my new job. So, I started looking for an apartment to rent. First, I searched online for available apartments. There were many options with different sizes and prices. Some apartments were small, and some were large. Some had one bedroom, and some had 2 or 3 bedrooms. I made a list of apartments that I liked and called the landlords to ask about them. One day, I went to see 3 apartments in my new city. The first apartment was on the second floor of an old building. It was clean but a little small. The kitchen was tiny, and the bathroom was old. The second apartment was bigger and on the 5th floor. It had a big living room and a nice balcony. I liked the view from the balcony because I could see the park nearby. But the rent was a little high for my budget. The third apartment was perfect. It was on the 3rd floor of a new building. The rooms were bright and clean. There was a small kitchen with a stove and a fridge. The bathroom was modern and had a hot water heater. The rent was affordable, and the landlord was very friendly. I decided to rent the third apartment. I signed the rental agreement with the landlord and got the keys. I was happy to move in and start my new life in the city. Renting an apartment can take time, but it is important to find a place that is comfortable and fits your budget. It is good to visit the apartments before deciding. Also, ask questions about the rent, utilities, and rules before signing the contract. At the post office. Last Monday, I went to the post office with my mother. We wanted to send a letter to my uncle who lives in another city. The post office was near our home, so we walked there together. When we arrived, there was a small line of people waiting. We waited patiently and looked around the post office. There were many shelves with envelopes, stamps, and boxes. I saw some colorful postcards on the wall too. When it was our turn, my mother spoke to the clerk at the counter. She said, "I would like to send this letter to Delhi, please." The clerk asked, "Do you want regular or express delivery?" My mother said, "Regular delivery is fine." The clerk weighed the letter and told us the price. My mother paid the money and bought a stamp. Then she put the stamp on the envelope carefully. The clerk said, "Please drop the letter in that box over there." We thanked the clerk and put the letter in the box. I felt happy because I knew my uncle would get the letter soon. After that, we bought some postcards to send to our friends. We wrote short messages on the postcards and bought stamps for them too. Going to the post office is easy and helpful. You can send letters, postcards, and small packages. It is a nice way to keep in touch with family and friends. Shopping for clothes. Last weekend, I went shopping for clothes with my mom. We needed new clothes for the upcoming school season. We went to a big mall in the city. The mall had many stores, with clothes for children and adults. First, we visited a store that sells shirts and pants. I looked at many colorful shirts hanging on the racks. Some shirts were blue, some red, and some had stripes or pictures. I tried on a few shirts in the fitting room. The fitting room had a big mirror and bright lights. My mom helped me choose a nice blue shirt that fit well. Then, we looked for pants. I wanted comfortable jeans, and my mom helped me find a pair. The jeans were a little tight at first, but after trying a few sizes, we found the perfect fit. Next, we went to a shoe store. There were many shoes, sneakers, sandals, and boots. I tried on a pair of red sneakers. They felt soft and comfortable. My mom said, "Those look great on you." After buying the clothes and shoes, we went to the food court to have lunch. We ate pizza and drank cold juice. While eating, I told my mom that I like shopping with her because she helps me make good choices. Before leaving the mall, we stopped by a store that sells hats and scarves. I picked a warm scarf because the weather is getting colder soon. My mom bought a nice hat for herself. Shopping for clothes is fun when you take your time. It is important to try on clothes before buying them to make sure they fit well. Also, asking for help is a good idea if you are not sure about something. I am happy with the clothes I bought, and I am ready for the new school season. Receiving a delivery package. Last week, I ordered a book online. It was a novel I had been waiting to read for a long time. After placing the order, I received a message that said, "Your package will arrive in 3 days." I was very excited. Every day, I checked my phone for updates. On the third day, I got a message that said, "Your package is out for delivery." In the afternoon, I heard the doorbell ring. I quickly went to the door and saw a delivery person standing outside. He wore a uniform and held a small brown box. He smiled and said, "Delivery for Mr. Kumar." I said, "That's me," and signed on his phone to confirm the delivery. He handed me the package and said, "Have a nice day." I thanked him and went back inside. I opened the box carefully and found my book inside, wrapped in plastic. It was just as I had expected, new and in perfect condition. Receiving a delivery package is easy and exciting. First, you order something online. Then you wait a few days for it to arrive. You should make sure someone is home to receive the package. Sometimes, if you're not home, the delivery person will leave it at your door or try again later. It's important to check the package after receiving it. Make sure everything is correct and not damaged. I was happy to finally have my new book. That evening, I made a cup of tea, sat on my bed, and started reading. Online shopping and home delivery make life very convenient. Making an online order. Last Friday, I decided to buy a new pair of headphones. My old ones were broken, and I needed new ones for listening to music and attending online classes. Instead of going to the store, I decided to order them online. First, I opened a shopping app on my phone. There were many types of headphones: wireless, wired, big, small, and in many colors. I read the reviews and compared the prices. After searching for a few minutes, I found a pair of black wireless headphones that had good ratings and a discount. I clicked on the item, chose the color, and added it to my cart. Then I filled in my address, phone number, and selected a payment option. I chose to pay online using my debit card. After reviewing all the details, I clicked the Place Order button. A message popped up, "Thank you. Your order has been placed." I received a confirmation email with the order number and estimated delivery date. 2 days later, I got a message that said, "Your order is out for delivery." That afternoon, the delivery person came to my door. He handed me the package and asked me to sign on his phone. I thanked him and opened the box right away. The headphones were exactly as shown in the pictures. I connected them to my phone and listened to music. The sound was clear, and the headphones were comfortable. Ordering online is very easy and saves time. But it's important to read reviews, check return policies, and make sure you are buying from a trusted website. I was happy with my online order and will definitely shop online again. Meeting a neighbor for the first time. Last month, my family moved into a new apartment building. We were excited but also a little nervous because we didn't know anyone in the area. On our first morning there, I was taking out the trash when I saw someone standing near the elevator. It was a woman about the same age as my mother. She smiled and said, "Hello, are you new here?" I smiled back and said, "Yes, we just moved in yesterday." She said, "Welcome. I live in apartment 502, right next to yours. My name is Mrs. Sharma." I introduced myself and told her my name and apartment number. She asked where we had moved from and how we were settling in. I said, we moved from another part of the city, and we're still unpacking. Mrs. Sharma said, if you need anything, just knock on my door. Later that day, she came over with a small gift, a box of homemade cookies. My mother was very touched by her kindness. We invited her in for tea, and the three of us sat and talked for a while. We learned that she had lived in the building for many years and knew all the neighbors. She told us about the nearby shops, the best time to get groceries, and even which delivery services are the fastest. Meeting Mrs. Sharma made us feel much more comfortable in our new home. She was friendly, polite, and helpful. Meeting a neighbor for the first time can be a nice experience. It's good to smile, introduce yourself, and be kind. Neighbors can help each other, especially when you are new to a place. Now, whenever I see Mrs. Sharma, I smile and say hello. It's nice to know that someone nearby is looking out for us. Talking about a recent exam. Last week, I had my math exam. It was one of the most important exams of the semester. I had been studying for it for many days. Every evening, I revised formulas, solved problems, and practiced old question papers. The night before the exam, I felt a little nervous. But I reminded myself that I had prepared well. I went to bed early so I could wake up fresh the next morning. On the day of the exam, I reached school on time. Many of my classmates were also revising at the last minute. We talked about which topics might come in the exam. When the exam started, I felt calm. The questions were not too hard. Some were easy, and a few were a little tricky. I took my time, read each question carefully, and solved them step by step. In the middle of the exam, I got stuck on one question. I didn't panic. Instead, I skipped it and solved the other questions first. Later, I came back to it and tried again. Finally, I was able to solve it. When the teacher said, "Time's up," I felt a sense of relief. I had finished all the questions. After the exam, my friends and I discussed our answers. Some of us got the same answers, and some were different. Now I'm waiting for the results. I hope I did well. Even if I made a few mistakes, I know I gave my best effort. Exams can be stressful, but preparing early and staying calm really helps. What matters most is trying your best and learning from the experience. Talking about future plans. Last night, my family sat together after dinner and talked about our future plans. My parents asked me, "What do you want to do after school finishes this year?" I smiled and said, "I've been thinking a lot about it." I told them I want to go to college and study computer science. I love working with computers and learning how things work. My dream is to become a software engineer one day. My parents were happy and said they would support me. I also said that before college starts, I want to take a short course online. Maybe something about web design or coding. I believe learning a few new skills now will help me later. My sister shared her plans too. She wants to become a fashion designer and is planning to apply to a design school. She already started sketching clothes and learning about fabrics. We also talked about taking a short family trip during the summer vacation. Maybe we'll go to the mountains or visit a beach. We haven't decided yet, but it's something to look forward to. Making plans for the future is exciting. It helps us stay focused and motivated. Even though things may not always go exactly as we hope, it's good to have goals. I know that if I work hard, stay positive, and keep learning, I can reach my dreams. Discussing travel plans. Last weekend, my cousin Ria called me on the phone. She said, "Let's plan a trip together during the holidays." I was excited. We hadn't traveled anywhere in a long time. We started talking about where we should go. Ria said, "What about the mountains?" I replied, "That sounds peaceful, but what about the beach? I really want to see the ocean again." After thinking for a few minutes, we both agreed, let's go to Goa. We started making a list of things to plan. First, the travel dates, then booking the hotel, and finally, deciding what to pack. We checked the calendar and chose a weekend in July. Then we searched online for hotels near the beach. We found one that was not too expensive and had good reviews. We booked 2 rooms, one for us and one for her younger brother. Next, we talked about how to get there. Should we go by train or by flight? The train was cheaper but would take more time. In the end, we decided to take the train so we could enjoy the journey together. We also made a list of things to pack: sunscreen, hats, sunglasses, beach clothes, and of course, a camera to take pictures. Ria said, "I'll bring snacks and music for the train ride." I said, "Perfect. I'll bring some board games." We were both very happy and excited about the trip. Planning it together made it even more fun. Traveling is a great way to relax, learn new things, and make beautiful memories with people you love. I'm counting down the days until we leave. I know it's going to be a great adventure. Talking about your favorite TV show. One of my favorite things to do after a long day is to watch my favorite TV show. The name of the show is The Smart Detective. It's about a clever young detective who solves different mysteries in each episode. The main character, Raj, is very smart and always notices small details that others miss. He works with his best friend and a funny police officer. Together, they solve crimes, catch thieves, and help people in trouble. I love this show because it's exciting and full of surprises. Sometimes, I try to guess who the criminal is before Raj finds out. It's like a game, and when I get it right, I feel proud. Each episode is around 30 minutes long. I usually watch 1 or 2 episodes in the evening, after I finish my homework. The storylines are interesting, and the acting is very good. The music and background sounds also make the scenes more dramatic. Another reason I enjoy The Smart Detective is because it teaches me to think carefully. I've learned to pay attention to small clues and to never jump to conclusions. I even got my younger brother to start watching it. Now, we both sit on the couch and watch the show together. Sometimes, we talk about what we would do if we were detectives. Everyone has a favorite show. It could be a cartoon, a comedy, a mystery, or something else. Watching TV shows can be fun and even educational, as long as we don't watch too much. I look forward to every new episode of The Smart Detective. It makes my day more fun and gives me something to talk about with my friends. If I had a superpower. Sometimes, I like to dream about having a superpower. If I had a superpower, I think I would want to fly. It would be amazing to fly high in the sky like a bird. I could go anywhere I wanted, and I would never have to sit in traffic again. If I had wings, I would fly over my school, my town, and even the ocean. I could visit my grandma anytime, even